Welcome to Canfield Company. I'm your host, Rob Canfield. My co-host today is my lovely wife, Tana Canfield. It's been a while since you've been available to co-host.
It has. So thank you for welcoming me back.
Thank you. So, fellow Canfield Company watchers, now you have double the trouble here.
Double vision.
That's right. Topic one today, Tana works in a call center where she talks with people who have mobile devices. And in previous shows, we've talked about rude customers. But today we're talking about the other side. She's on the other side of the phone. So when you call into a call center to activate a phone or have a question about your device, this is the person who you talk to. So tell us about your experiences in the call center talking to customers.
Thank you. Okay. So when we're at our desk, we don't know what kind of call we're going to get. It's just like Forrest Gump. He never knew what kind of chocolate was in that box, right? He'd reach in and it could be caramel, it could be a dark chocolate, it could be medium chocolate, it could be one with nuts or a chew, right?
Do you get any chocolates to call your call center?
I probably get a lot of nuts.
I'm just kidding. You get nuts. So you get a call, and what happens?
Okay. So, and I mean nuts in a very amicable way, you know what I mean? So in other words, you don't know what's going to happen.
So you're not calling your customers nuts.
No.
You're just comparing it to a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm prepared on my end, right? I know exactly what I'm going to tell them because I have a directory, and the directory helps us to resolve issues, and that's my job, is to resolve a customer's issue. So when they call, for instance, hey, I just got my brand new iPhone 11 Pro Max. The Pro Max has a triple camera on it. So of course I'm going to say, hey, congratulations, now let's get that phone on the line and activated, because I'm sure you're going to enjoy taking lots and lots of pictures and videos. So the customer is really happy. So then I'm talking to them, finding out, oh, they're not prepared. They think that they can just call from the old phone that was on that line. So when I swap it to the new iPhone Pro Max, what's going to happen, Rob?
I don't know.
The call's going to drop. So when the call drops, guess what? I lose the customer. So then I have to set my phone so that I call the customer back. Okay.
Do you ask them if they have another phone available?
I do.
And do they listen?
They, for the most part, may or may not. So that's when the call may drop and I have to call them back. But a lot of them say, no, I'm in my car.
So what you're telling me is people are calling you and while they're driving in their car?
Yes, Rob. So they're either driving in their car or they're at work, so they're whispering. And I go, I can't hear you.
Oh, no.
Yes, oh, yes. And so I say, I need to hear you. I need to know exactly what phone line you're on. Oh, I'm on the old phone. So anyway, so the bottom line to it all is that customers need to be coached. So
And that's what you could pay the big bucks for. You coach them through the process.
Yes, and that's why after you've talked to me or other experienced reps there, not the training ones, but the ones that have been there a long time, and maybe they've been there for 10 years, so they might have gotten me before, they'll hopefully remember, be on another line. And I can't emphasize that enough. Number one is the waste of your time and energy to call in and to find out, oh, I lost the call. I have to wait another 20 minutes before I get a rep.
It doesn't seem like rocket science to understand when they transfer your phone, when's going to stop working.
But they don't get it. They just don't understand that.
Because they're driving in their car, or
and
they're
not
whispering
paying
at work, trying not to
attention.
get,
Yeah, they don't want to get caught. I tell my customers, you need to pull off to the side of the road or in a parking lot. I will not assist you because I'm all about safety. And it doesn't take but a second for, your a distraction. I certainly have learned working in the cell phone industry now for 6.5 years that it's not as easy as it seems or looks.
That's right. When I was in the telecommunications industry, AT&T, she used to call me her telephony. Because I said, no, it's telephony. That's a fancy name for a telecommunications telephony. She says, no, Rob, it's telephony. You're a telephony. But now, oh, how the tables have turned. Now she is in the telecommunications business, and now I can call her my little telephony. Well, thank you for the insider's tour of the call center, activity and what you do and how customers respond. Very, very fascinating. I bet you didn't know a lot of things before about the other side of the coin. We'll be right back after this with another topic right here on Canfield Company. Welcome back to Canfield and Company. I'm your host, Rob Canfield. In case you forgot, this is a show where we talk about things that interest, well, me and Tana. After this is our show. That's why we call it Canfield and Company.
Canfield and Company.
Right. It's cool having my own show.
We love it.
Topic number 2 today. In the Northwest area here in Oregon, the United Food and Commercial Workers reached a tentative deal with 3 grocery stores, Safeway, Kroger, Albertsons, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This article was from the Northwest Labor Press online, and I'm going to quote some things here. 6 days after calling on the public to boycott Fred Meyer, the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 555 announced tentative agreement with grocery employers on new union contracts covering about 20,000 workers in Oregon and Southwest Washington.
Wow.
Now, Local 555 is not going to release the details of the settlement until they get it in front of their members and have the chance for the members to vote on the contract.
I'm just grateful that they settled quick.
Yeah.
I really am.
Also, according to the Labor Press article, the union said they're asking all of their supporters to cease the boycott and resume their normal shopping habits, although I didn't see much active boycotting.
No.
I don't think it would have affected
I didn't see anything.
The grocery stores
and I
at
went
all.
all over to different stores. So.
Now, the boycott, of course, got substantial local publicity. You know, all the local news stations need to fill time.
Right.
And there were anecdotal signs that they had impact on sales, but I sincerely doubt it.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it came after 15 months of bargaining, which employers failed to offer hourly raises of more than 30 to 40 cents per hour. And I'd be curious to know what kind of a raise the grocery store employees got. Now, even though today, sitting before you, is a conservative capitalist, back in the day, I was a union rep for communication workers. So my heart is with the employees, especially when there's a possibility that they would go on strike.
Oh, right.
Going on strike is a terrible, terrible thing. There's money you will never get back. It could kind of ruin folks financially. So I'm really glad for my fellow union brothers and sisters that they were able to settle without having to go on strike. And I've been on both sides. I've been on the management side during a strike, and I have been on the picket line during a strike. But I'm very, very thankful that both sides settled without a strike.
And without hurting anybody's budgets and that type of thing and ruining families. So thank you to all of the unions, the stores, everybody involved with the negotiations. We give you an ovation.
Good job.
We really do. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about a disparity in wages between male and female workers.
What?
I'd like to see.
Wait,
Hopefully
what do you mean?
Yes, the union alleged that there was a wage disparity
What?
between male and female workers.
No, it's the same job.
Yes. Well, what actually
I
is
don't get it.
occurring is this is what the union is alleging, that the company managers would not place women into the higher paid checker jobs. They would put them in like the bakery and floral where they got paid less. And I don't know if that's just anecdotal or if that's actual fact.
I don't know.
I don't know. People should be paid, if they're doing the same job.
They should be
they
paid the same. I don't
equally.
care what your status is. You know
However,
what I mean?
the more complicated a job is,
You
more
should get
complex,
paid more, yeah.
You should get paid more.
Yeah, did you hear that? You know, if your job has more responsibilities, let's say you've been on your job 5 years or longer, I believe you've been loyal, dependable, and they should be showing that with raising your wages.
Yeah. And where TANA works, you get bonuses based on how extra productive you are. I don't know if that's proper English. Extra bonus. No, but if you
They make it hard, though.
You go over and above the call of duty and you do excellent, you get bonuses based on your productivity. And that's what I believe in. That's the American way. The more productive you are, the more inventive you are, the more value you are to an employer, you deserve to get more pay than someone who's just going through the motions.
Right.
Now, getting back to the grocery store issue, as we know, grocery stores are terribly competitive, razor-thin profit margins. It was in the news just yesterday that Kroger is considering laying off
Oh, no.
hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of middle managers because of increasing competitive pressure, not only from Amazon, but from Costco, from Walmart, and the other online shopping services. I think a lot of companies have gone through a lot of that, taking
A hit.
a hit, but basically getting rid of a lot of the middle managers. Maybe they aren't necessary.
answer.
Maybe times have changed, but Kroger, it was in the news and all the financial publications on TV that they're considering laying off thousands of middle managers. So it happens. But getting back to the grocery store strike, both Tana and I were very glad that everybody did not have to go on strike, and the strike was settled. And hopefully we won't have to go through that again until the next strike. But that's it for this particular topic, and we'll be back after this with another topic on Canfield and Company.
Canfield and Company. See you soon.
Welcome back to Canfield and Company. I'm your host, Rob Canfield, and with me as co-host today, she's back. My co-host, Tana Canfield.
back.
We've got the same last name, isn't that a coincidence? No, we're married. Canfield and Company. That's how we got the name. Anyway, we have another interesting topic, especially to you Portlanders.
Really? What is that?
This was in the news this week. The city of Portland, they're remodeling the Portland building. That's the building with the lady,
Portlandia?
Portlandia in front. So they're remodeling that building. But what they're doing is, instead of putting men's urinals in, which take up a lot less space and have more people going to the bathroom, they're getting rid of urinals and putting in the stalls, like in the women's room. Now I'm going to do some quoting here. Now
Would men like that?
Yeah.
Rob?
So urinals, I'm just going to read from the article in KGW. Urinals, for those who have never been in a men's bathroom. Have you been in a men's bathroom?
Yes. On accident, of course.
Urinals are personal receptacles without seats that allow men to actively and quickly relieve themselves. And In an email to city employees in February, City Chief Administrative Officer Tom Reinhardt wrote, and I quote, "We will continue to have gender-specific multi-stall restrooms that are readily available to any employee that prefers to use one. But there will be no urinals in any restroom in the building. This will give us the flexibility we need for any future changes in signage." Now, local talk show host, according to KGW, responded to this, and I'm also going to put up Lars Larsen's quotes. He said, "I think it's ridiculous. First of all, I know that it already makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Secondly, it's going to take up a lot more space. And third, anyone who has ever been to any public event, have you seen the line at the ladies' rooms? Yeah. Do you see any line in the men's room?" And he argues that urinals use less water for toilets.
Oh, well, that's a lot of facts to consider. But I just think men are comfortable, though, having gone into the restrooms using urinals. So why are we changing this? I don't understand.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't think they're doing it for anything but political correctness. Now everybody has to have gender neutral stalls.
What are they going to do? Put the urinals in the women's restroom so that we'll get out faster? What's going on here?
Is this so people don't get offended? Is this so people don't get offended who usually perhaps have used the women's room before, and they're afraid that maybe if you go to the men's room for the first time in your life, you don't know what to do? I mean, how do I sit on this thing? I can just see it in my mind's eye. A woman going into, or let's say, of a different gender, to be put politely, going into a men's room with a urinal for the very first time and wondering, how the heck am I going to sit on this thing? But in Portland, it's political correctness going way too far.
Overboard.
Way too far.
That is an overboard issue.
And you know, sometimes it's cool to have stalls. Even men's rooms have a couple of stalls.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I have to say, trust me, in public places, you only want to use these stalls as a last resort. Some places keep track of them and keep them clean. Other places, not so much. Now, I will tell you an amusing anecdote about different uses of bathroom. The last weekend, was taking her to work, and she needed to pick up some goodies for her fellow employees. Well, while I was waiting for her in the car, nature suddenly called in the worst possible way.
No.
You know, when you really, 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 really have to go. It's the gurgling in the lower GI. I'm being kind of blunt, but this is what
You're being graphic.
So I got out of the car,
information.
sprinted to the restroom in the Albertsons, and went into the men's room.
Oh,
and there was someone in the stall. And this was an emergency. Trust me, it could have been a disaster.
Yes, absolutely.
So thinking that gender neutrality and everybody can use any stall they want, I decided to be assertive, and I didn't care who was in that ladies' room. I went into the ladies' room. No one was in there. I used the stall and saved the day.
That's what I heard.
That was a close call.
That's what I heard, though.
Call.
I heard that there was a gentleman who ran into the women's restroom that morning.
You did not. Did you really hear that?
No.
But it was a very, very close call. And if someone had been in there, I would have tried to go back into the men's room and sit on the urinal. I know it's kind of gross, but it's part of the topics today. Well, we'll be right back after this with a less serious and less bathroom-esque topic.
Thank you.
We'll come right back after this.
Right back. And then
Welcome back to Canfield and Company. I'm your host, Rob Canfield. My co-host today is Tana Canfield.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I ran across this article.
You ran across an article. Yes, go ahead.
I ran across this article online earlier today, and it fascinated me. The headline grabbed me, is what it did.
Okay, what's the headline?
This is from the Seattle Times. Seattle man arrested after devouring $200 in office chocolate.
Oh, this sounds mighty interesting. How'd that happen?
Now, what struck me about this, I didn't know the details, but I thought perhaps it could have been one of my coworkers back in the day. People bring chocolates to the office, and there's usually one person who just, in any office, who just goes for it, goes overboard. They're not polite. So I thought, that could have been me. That could have been me back in the day. You're talking chocolate. But au contraire, that I decided I better get to the bottom of this, and I started to read the article. It says, this is from the Seattle Times. Mm-hmm. It says, sugar coma is real. One Seattle man has learned firsthand. Seattle police say a 44-year-old man broke into a downtown office building Thursday night.
44 years old, oh my goodness.
Then scarfed down hundreds of dollars in chocolate and took a nap. That could have been me.
You know what it sounds like, Rob? It sounds like that movie Chocolat.
Yeah. According to police, an employee called 911 after the man broke into the otherwise empty financial office, rearranged a painting, and then set his sights on a bowl full of chocolatey sweets. So when officers arrived at the building on Union Street, they found the man. He'd taken off his shoes. He took off his watch and jacket. He was just relaxing on the couch, chowing down on the chocolate.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? And then he told the police, "You'll have to kill me or take me to jail." I mean,
he did.
That could have been me.
Oh my goodness.
But he was arrested without incident. But he was booked into King County Jail on suspicion of burglary, malicious mischief, and 2 other warrants.
Wow.
Now, grand theft chocolate. Again, that could have been
top.
That could have been me.
Really? I would have had to bail you out back in the day?
You would have had to bail me out on a chocolate warrant. But I don't know what you guys think about that. I mean, it's sad somebody breaking and entering is never a good idea.
No.
I mean, you just go to your local grocery store and get some chocolate from there.
Or else ask for donations out in the street,
Ask for chocolate donations out in the street. But headlines can be deceiving. It sounded like maybe an employee who was just going for it.
Yeah.
It's like a buffet or something like that, and you always have one person in every office. They just go for it, hog the good stuff.
Don't you think, though, that I'm wondering myself in a financial office, I've never heard of an office having hundreds of dollars of fine chocolate.
Could have been European chocolate.
What I'm thinking of is clients, maybe, how clients will bring in goodies, for staff and that type of thing. But still, I think that's exaggerating just a little bit there.
So I wonder if it was like, instead of really expensive chocolate, like fancy chocolate.
Hershey's?
It'll be grand theft chocolate. But what if it was just Hershey bars? Wouldn't that be a misdemeanor if it was just plain old Hershey bars?
Or not even that.
Yeah.
I mean,
or the cheaper chocolate than that.
A class A, I don't know. Whatever. But I just think that it reminds me of the movie Chocolat.
It sounds like the guy had a good time. He broke in the office, reclining on a couch, took his shoes off, took his watch off, and just enjoyed himself.
Yeah. And to me, he sounded harmless, so
I wouldn't have a problem with that, really.
No, I don't have a problem with that.
Just kick him out of the building.
I would have probably given him a ticket for trespass or something, but...
Just kick him out of the building. I mean,
and
he was doing good works. He was eating good chocolate.
Well, the whole thing about it, though, is he probably needed to do community service, though, to pay back the chocolate. You know what I mean?
Community service would have been good.
Yeah.
So. I know exactly what he said when the cops came, though.
What's that?
He said, "Oh, fudge." Well, that's it for this episode of Canfield and Company. If you would like to comment or rebut anything we said today, you're free to come on the show. Just email me at rcanfield@robertcanfield.com. If you'd like to see previous shows, you can look at our Facebook page, which is Canfield and Company. You can also look at our website, robertcanfield.com, where we have lots of previous shows where you can watch. And if you'd like to be on the show, shoot me an email. Love to have you. rcanfield@robertcanfield.com. That's it for this episode. Thanks for joining me today, Tana. Hope you can join me next month as well to be a permanent co-host again.
I know, I love it. I do.
And for all of you out there, I hope you have a great Canfield and Company Day.